Welcome back to another Take the Lead podcast episode. I am your host, Tara Chantel. We are about to dive right into Bag Talk session where we get real intimate with that spiritual bag within. I have such a special guest in the building, Chauncey Jackson, award-winning filmmaker. Let them know what's popping. Come on, Chauncey. Thank you so much for joining Bag Talk Session, Take the Lead podcast to just tell us more about your journey. I want to start with what inspired this amazing award-winning filmmaker mindset that you have right now.
Tara, first of all, I want to thank you so much for having me on the show. I really, really appreciate the platform. I really appreciate what you're doing. The journey to being a filmmaker was something that I didn't see coming. To be quite honest, I didn't want to be a filmmaker. Like, to be completely honest, I did not want to do it. When I was in high school, I was amateur wrestler and I was in the marching band. So I was really active in school. So before I graduated high school, I said, well, I have an outlet when it comes to writing music or being an athlete. Those are two things I'm really passionate about, but at that time, my mom, she was singing in the choir at her church, and our church at the time was World Changers. And I remember one time, and we had to get up really early in the morning. Like, we used to live in Douglasville, and Douglasville to College Park was probably about maybe like a 45-minute drive. So we had to get up to be at church at 7:30 so my mom could prepare to sing and practice in the church. Me and my sister were so dog tired, and it's on a Sunday now. So we really have on Saturdays to ourselves. We couldn't stay late. We had to get up early in the morning. So I remember one time, it was actually in October too, this month. Wow, it was kind of funny. My mom actually caught me sleeping in church just randomly. I was so tired, and she was like over me. When you see you're caught, you can't say nothing. That's the moment where I was like, okay, yeah, I can't do nothing. Right. So mom, she looked at me. She's like, oh, so you gonna sleep in the church? I was like, I thought I was gonna get a whooping. But my punishment was she told me I was gonna serve. I'm like, serve where? Like, what are you talking about? And at the time, the scripture, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. I didn't understand at the time. So mom said, you're gonna serve. I'm like, what are you talking about? So she had a friend at the time in the media department, and she told him, what I got in trouble for and everything like that. And he said, okay, we got something for him. So my punishment was for 4 years from my freshman year of high school to my senior year, I had to volunteer every Sunday at 7:30 in the morning. And let me tell you something right now. I was like really busy with, like I said, I was in a marching band and I was an amateur wrestler. So I was so busy. I'm like, yo, like I can't do nothing on Saturday night because I have to go to church. And I was like, So what they had me doing was I was gripping. I was the camera assistant. So I was gripping the camera. I was running tape to the bookstore. I was actually operating the camera on the balcony. And they train you on the balcony before you go down to the lower level. So, and Tara, let me tell you something, I was not interested. I was thinking about wrestling. I was thinking about music. I was thinking other things besides being in church. But, it's kind of funny how it's funny how God put you in a position to teach you a lesson, but also know where you're going. Because it's something that you didn't want to do, but you end up doing anyway, Like, cause when I want to do this, I want to do that. But God said, no, I have other plans for you. And I didn't know what the plan was, but that plan was film production. And when I graduated from high school, my mom, she had a client at the time, and he asked me, one time I was with my mom, just trying to make some money for the summer. And he asked me, he said, hey, Chauncey, I see that you've been serving the church. He asked me, like, do you want to work for CNN? I'm like, I looked at him like, he was crazy. I'm like, dude, what? What are you talking about? Tara, I just graduated from high school. Like, literally got my diploma. Probably like that month later, I was with my mom, just trying to make some money for the summer before I started college. And he asked me to do it for CNN. I was like, I looked at him like he was crazy. I'm like, dude, I don't really have any type of experience. He's like, no. I got you. And at that time I didn't really know how to make a resume. So, not like probably 4 or 5 months later, I remember I came from Bible study. It was a Wednesday. I never forget it. It's probably the week of my birthday. And I get a phone call, and it's from TBS. Now, I didn't know TBS was the partner company of CNN. I didn't know that. I'm like, who's TBS? Turner Broadcasting? What? So my mom said, oh, that's CNN. I was like, cool. So, and I'm going on, but because this is really emotional right now because of how I listened to my mom, but I also listened to God, So I had the interview. I met with the vice president of the department, and he told me, he's like, Chauncey, I love your resume, and I see that you've been volunteering at your church, which is great, and he hired me on the spot because I had the experience. The experience of volunteering, serving, was able to get me a job. And I was 19 years old. I was 19 years old working for the biggest news company in the world.
Wow.
And he said, hey, Chauncey, we're going to get your documents signed, everything like that. And when I turned the corner to HR, guess who was there? My mom's client. He was the HR manager for CNN. Didn't even know it.
That's the favor
Didn't
of
even know it.
God right there.
It was wild. I'm like, oh, he's like, I told you I took care of you. I was like, oh. I was like, wow. And then it was wild. I never forget it. Never forget it.
That is the favor of God. And actually serving with such a genuine spirit as well for 4 years though. That's a long punishment. I can't.
It was a long punishment, and it wasn't like every Sunday. Sometimes they told me, hey, take a break here and there, but it was still the routine of serving, going to the bookstore. And it was funny because all what I was doing, I'm doing now, producing, editing, shooting videos, talking to clients. So all that time when I was 14 to like 17, 18 years old got me to this point right now because I was obedient to my mom,
Wow, it's amazing when we are obedient to just people that are above us, whether it's God, our parents, and just trusting them when we are being told to do so. And that's amazing how it all just prepared you for where you're at right now. I would love some feedback on how we can serve with such a genuine spirit, a genuine heart when we don't expect anything in return, because usually that transaction we want money. That's the only reason why we serve or we do work. But how you didn't get paid to just serve and just be this genuine person like that. Can you tell us how we can stay on that course?
I think it's all based off motive. When you like, serving is not just more of serving the church. You're like serving, like, of course, a nonprofit, and I'm part of a nonprofit called Steam Revolution. And really, like, my mom always told me, is like, you don't serve to get anything. You serve because it's in your pure heart that you want to help others. You don't, like, just because someone's paying you doesn't mean that. It's like you have to make sure that you don't cross those lines of, oh, I'm only doing it for me. I want to build my career. I want to build this. I want to build my status, my Instagram following, my Facebook following, my podcast following. But it all depends on your heart. Especially me being a filmmaker, I work with a lot of actors, especially females. And for me, as a male filmmaker, I had a conversation with a lot of actors, and this is a prime example. A lot of actors who I've spoken before, they have issues with getting their videos sent to them for some reason. I don't know if there's a theme going on. But it's like, I'm looking at it like, you know how easy it is to get your scene for me? Like, it's really easy. Like, I have a hard drive full of content from almost 10 years ago, So I keep it because these actors need it for demo reels. And for me, if you work with me, like this past project that I did for Have a Good Day, the actors have told me, hey, after this is done, I get all the scene edited. I want to actually use you guys' scene for a demo reel for free because you guys dedicate your time and energy to create such an award-winning, big web series that say I want to give back to people that served and dedicated time to help me. So it's really a prime example of how I don't need money to do the right thing, if that makes any sense. So for me, that's a prime example. So I spoke to a lot of, especially a lot of female. I don't know what it is, but I said, hey guys, here you go, here's your scene, here's your demo reel. Let me know if you need anything. Let me know if you want to send it to Actors Access or whoever, because you guys need these scenes to create you guys' resume. So for me, that's a prime example of me doing things with a pure heart, because I don't need anything. Thank you, that's all I want, that's fine.
Right, and not expecting something in return. I feel like that's where it goes wrong, when we are trying to expect something from someone for them to do good for us, but we really have to just give off of the genuineness in our heart and the genuineness off of our spirit of being that vessel to God. Like, I'm just doing it because God told me to do it.
Yeah.
If you appreciate it, you appreciate it. If you don't, I know I still have favor over my life.
It's one of the things where my mom, she told me, she's like, Chauncey, when you go in this world, represent Christ and also your family, because in the end of the day, that's all you have. So for me, like, film is like my second love outside of, God and family. Well, it's my third love, but it's like film is the way where I'm able to grow, also meet some people in different walks of life, different belief systems, but I still represent myself in the best possible way, because you can be the light in the darkness in this world by just
Mm.
being genuine and honest. Like, people are, it's so hard. I don't know what it is by people can't be honest and genuine. Like, I don't want nothing from you. All I want is just make sure that you dedicate your time that we agreed upon. That's all I want, And some of these actors, I became friends with them over the years, because some of the actors I've been friends with for such a long time. I say, hey, I want you to come back to the show. Hey, guy, and new actors, that's even great because I get to know about them a little bit more, get to know where they come from, their mindset. And for me, like I said, being a black male filmmaker, I have to make sure that, end of the day, when it comes to female actors, I'm very, very protective over them in many ways when it comes to their characteristics, their personalities, and how they portray themselves on set, because it's the way. First of all, I'm not in the business of degrading black women. Period. I would never ever receive a check to degrade black women. Period. If someone said, "Oh, I want to do this," I would say no, because really, you'd be surprised what I wouldn't do for money. You would be surprised.
Wow, that's deep right there. That's deep, because right now we are in this world where it's driven off of money.
Mm-hmm.
People are selling their souls for money.
Man.
What is that scripture? What does the scripture say? It's like the man that gains the world but loses.
Oh yeah.
Soul.
What proper man to gain the world but lose his soul? Yes, I remember that scripture. Yes.
What is your thoughts behind that?
That's such a deep scripture, because it's like, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like, so you're going to try to be famous and disregard everything that you worked for, how you're raised. Me, I'm getting married soon. Like, disregard family to be famous, so that people will know your name. Like, I don't want my name to be written in lights. That's not my style. I'm very independent. I'm very humble. It's things where I wouldn't do it. But my spirit, this thing called discernment that I pray for every day, where it doesn't feel right, I'm not gonna do it. People can say what they want, but it's like, end of the day, if I don't feel right about something, I won't even step foot in it or even create it. Because in the day, if I'm now I understand when it comes to projects, there are sex scenes here and there, but that's not my drive. That's not my focus. It's like, does the story make sense? Do the actors like their characters? Are their characters being portrayed in a positive light? Even if that person's a antagonist, is the actor comfortable in that role? Because I'm not the type of director where it's like, oh, you better do it because this and this. They ain't gotta do nothing. They ain't gotta do nothing. So that's really my answer when it comes to that.
Wow. First of all, congratulations. You a whole husband out here.
I know, right? I just came back from getting my marriage license for my wife, so I've been up and down, and it's been a lot. But it's like, when it comes to that, man, is we was there today. I know I'm segueing, but when it comes to like marriage between my wife and I, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. We wanted to create a union between us, and then create a legacy afterwards. So it was a little bit emotional when I'm sitting there. I was like, wow, this is real.
Wow. And that's what we believe in, just building black families, building a legacy for the next generation, because that is so powerful. And it's crazy how you are in this marriage union. And I was just, before we got on this call, I was learning about courtshipping. Because we live in such a worldly world, where we're in this world, and now we're being normalized to just be dating, having sex before marriage, but we are skipping the true word that is courting women. And now women are just settling just to be booty calls now.
Man, it's funny you mentioned that, because me and my coworkers had a conversation, I think it was Tuesday, about something when it comes to like marriage and just like the headship and everything like that. I was telling them that, when it comes to marriage, especially as a man, you have to be very aware of who you're marrying, because I prayed a lot to get to this point. I went through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you, I had my hoish ways, for a minute, but it didn't last long, because I knew that, okay, this is not gonna last long. For me, I wanted to create a building block of the family. The family is so strong that the world can't destroy it. Like when God created man and woman, it's so vital how strong the family unit is and the gender roles. Because and my wife understands that even though we're a partnership, she said, "Hey babe, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" As a man, I
We
said, "All right, step in high gear," because she understands her role. But it's not just because um, I'm the leader doesn't mean that I'm like she's a lower level than me. You see what I'm
mm,
saying? It's like people will say, "Well, I rule over you. You submit." That no, 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 no. You misuse of scripture. You don't understand that point. If that man understands his role, he don't need to say he's a leader. He don't
mm.
need to say it because it's embedded in him. You know.
Oh,
And my father-in-law, he had a conversation with me before we started. We were dating, like probably a couple months in, and he told me, and the points of a father is so important too because he told me, he's like, all I want you to do, Chauncey, is take care of my daughter. That's all I want you to do. Like, if you take care of my daughter, you'll see how things will work out. And he was right because that's his baby girl, especially his youngest girl. You know, it's so vital because some men and women don't understand that. And look, just because dating is like it's like people have this misunderstanding about dating is not just, oh, I'm gonna smash here and there. If you want to do that, okay, fine. I'm not judging nobody. If you want to do that, that's fine. But if you're serious about dating, you have to realize you have to sacrifice a lot of things. I had to sacrifice a lot of things. I had to cut things off. I had to change. Not her. I had to.
mm.
So for me, I have to be the example of what a man should be to say, if I'm gonna take this seriously, I gotta make sure that I put God first, pray, and make sure that I love my wife now as who she is, and that's my best friend and my helpmate, period.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Just the structure and the mindset of the sacrifice it goes into creating this union of
Mm-hmm.
a family dynamic like that. It's so powerful because they try to keep us from having this union because they
Yeah.
realize how powerful a black woman and a black man come together to dominate this matrix and we're gonna be unstoppable if we get on the same mindset together and not be against each other and be together.
And are you married, Tara? Are you married?
No.
Okay. Well, and the fact of the matter is, I say this, and you probably already know, like, I don't know what your intentions are, but it's like, it's all based off God's timing, not your timing,
Mhm.
because I thought, oh, I'm going to marry this girl, it didn't work out. I thought I was going to marry this girl, it didn't work out. But I realized when I got to this point where God was protecting me from people that didn't need to be in my life. Sometimes when you think that person's for you, and I'm not saying necessarily that person's bad for you, but it's like they're not the one for you to love you the way that you should be loved. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that like the what's that word? The unconditional love is so misused that like you love them for not their body, for their spirit. Because when I look at my wife, it's like, oh, okay, you know, it's like it's a spiritual thing, not just a physical thing.
Ooh,
Because that spirit is who they are. It really is. Like the person who we are is your spirit. We're just a shell of who we are spiritually. If that makes any sense. So you're marrying that person's spirit. Like I was talking to my coworkers how weddings are not really just weddings. Like when you see a wedding, it's not just a ceremony. It's a dedication to God that you are committed to that one person. And when I was telling them, when that father walks his daughter down the aisle, she's covered by her father. So when the pastor tells or asks the father the question, who gives this woman away to this man? Father responds, my wife and I do. So that transition from father to husband is like just like that. So it's a spiritual head covering because the woman should be protected. Because the woman should never be uncovered. Like for real, it's deep. I have to learn that. Yeah, seriously.
That's so
but it's real. Go
But
watch your wedding. Seriously, watch your wedding. Watch your wedding again, and you see it's not just a physical transition; it's a spiritual transition. So when you in the ceremony, that woman is covered and protected by father to husband. So now I'm responsible for her.
Wow, and just the way you broke it down gave me chills because.
But it's real though. It's really real. I had to learn this years ago, and I thought because I used to do wedding videos, and I was like, okay, cool, it's a ceremony, whatever. But when I started getting serious with marriage with my wife and everything, I was like, I started studying about marriage. I'm like, oh, this is kind of deep. And I listened to different pastors, I'm like, whoa, this is kind of deep, ain't it?
Oh, wow.
It's a big responsibility.
It
It's a really
is.
big responsibility.
It is, and everybody's not meant to be a wife or a husband.
And that's fine. Like I said, marriage is a choice, but like I said, if you want to, I hang with married folk. Really, even when I was single, I hang with married folk.
Yeah.
So I was able to see, I was able to see how they operated, and for me, now since I'm not the last person in the group to get married, but I was a single person, but I realized like, wow, this is really like a spiritual journey that we're on.
Yeah.
And it's deep, man.
It's a true commitment. That's what I was saying, because I don't think people are ready for that huge commitment, to that dedication to one person, that knowing that you have to take care of this woman like this. She you are responsible till death do us apart.
Yeah. It's not just a title. But it's like, and when it comes to especially a Black woman, it's like, for me, women are, I'm saying it complex, but women are emotional creatures. So you have to understand that they're going to have their good days and bad days. They don't want to say much, but you have to understand that. As a male, men, we're really simple. We're very simple. We don't really need much. Like, we don't need much.
Yeah.
But for a woman, she needs that. When her feet hurt, are you going to remember her feet? When her back hurt, are you going to remember her back? And when she needs like to cuddle, are you going to cuddle with her? Like, because me and my wife, we work out. So for me, I was the first person to lose weight. So she sees me cutting weight. Okay, I want to join in. I was led by example. I didn't say, oh, you better work out. And then like, no, I didn't say nothing. She saw me being dedicated. I didn't complain. I didn't moan. I set the example saying, hey, I can do this. But she joined in and said, okay, my baby's doing it. Let me join in. And we work out together now.
Wow. So powerful, leading by example, not trying to point fingers and telling people what they should do. And that makes things so much more easier, especially when we're on this journey together. And you're leading by such a great way of eating right, being fit. It's just like, that's contagious. Like, people just doing that way.
Yeah, we have our cheat days, but we do it together. And even through this quarantine, we spent a lot of time together. We playing video games, and she's an MMA fan like I am, so it's like, that's a huge plus. I'm like, so but it's one of the things where I'm enjoying everything. The ups and downs going to happen, but that love is strong. Like, that real love is strong. Nothing can break that.
Oh yes, that's amazing. And I just applaud you guys, and I wish you much success on your marriage. That's amazing.
Thank you.
We love that. And I want to talk more about Have a Good Day web series. Tell us about the project.
Man, Have a Good Day. Man, where do I begin with Have a Good Day, Tara? Like, Have a Good Day literally started 4 years ago. Wow. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I lost a lot of friends along the way, but it was worth it to get to this point. I had a former colleague of mine. We started writing the first script about 2015, and this is based off of our lives in the call center. And let me tell you something, call centers are just trash. Like, trash.
Right.
Burn them down. Now tech support, fine, but call centers, no. But at that time, when I got let go from CNN, this is my first time working in a call center. And my sister got me the job because I didn't have when I graduated from college, she said, hey, Chauncey, let's get a job for right now. And I didn't realize that people like my voice for some reason. I don't understand why. I don't really see any brightness or uniqueness in my voice, but whatever. Because the lady, her supervisor said, I like his voice. I'm like, really? I was like, all right. So I was like, okay, thanks for the job. But I realized when I was working at this particular call center, it was like so ratchet that it's like, yo, what did I get myself into? Of course, I mind my own business. I didn't get into the job drama, whatever. But I realized that when we were writing, that I was really telling my life in real time. So when we wrote, the whole pilot, co-wrote together, and we shot the first version of this in 2016. And it took us a year and a half. Now, my manager, who I met in church through my mom, shout out to Natalie Roseborough, love you. My manager is so dope. Like she's been on me when it comes to production, business. She used to work for Tyler Perry, Roger Bob,
Oh,
Robert Townsend. Used to work for NBC, CNN. So she has the experience. So
right.
she's been with me for almost the last 8 or 9 years. So
Yeah.
when we finished the first version of this Terra, I created a trailer. I sent it to her. She told me that Chauncey, this show is really good. Like we can really pitch this to get it on some network because when it comes to a network, they want to have a unique type of show that hasn't been done yet. So when it comes to this a call center, it hasn't been done before. So for us being the first, she said, Chance, we gotta get this shopped around. But before we do that, who is this girl here? Because I see that you shot, directed, edited, and produced it, but I see created by who, it comes a problem. So for us, what we need to do is we need to get her to sign off saying that because this is my production company that shot it. She
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, well, just have her sign up saying you have the right to, shop around, whatever. I said, cool, it shouldn't be a problem. The day before I was gonna go to give her the contract, she was like reneged on me. I was like, yo, like I'm trying to tell you what's going on. I'm keeping in touch with her now. If I was shiesty, I would literally not tell her anything. But I'm
Yeah.
not the type of guy. Going back to what I was saying, I'm doing things for a pure heart. Like, why would I lie to you? Like, why would I try to hide something from you? I don't do that kind of thing. So she's like, oh, I want to get this and that. I'm like, so literally, it was on the shelf for about a year. I didn't do nothing with it. I was talking to my manager. We didn't know because if I shot the show, then she has the right to sue me. Even though that I would have won because I own all the content, it would still be really a bad situation in court and legal fees and all kinds of stuff like that. So my manager, she said, Chauncey, the only way for us to do this is for you to rewrite the whole season. I was like, I'm not doing that
Mm-hmm.
because it took us a year and a half to. You know how long a year and a half is for a show?
That's
Like,
amazing.
you know how long it is? I was like I said, Natalie, is there other ways? Like, well, Chauncey, if you like, I'm sorry, like, in order for us to do this your way, you have to rewrite everything. You have to rewrite the characters, rewrite the scenario, rewrite everything. I was like, oh my god, bruh. So I was like, and I was really gonna throw everything away, Tara. I was gonna delete everything because it left a bad taste in my mouth. But I was like, all right. So it took me about a week or two to create a pilot, and man, I had to rewrite everything. And I said, you know what? It's for the greater good. So last October, we started casting. So I was trying to get everybody, and now some of the actors from the original came back, but I had to get new people. You know what I'm saying? So I got my cast and I got my crew, and the cast is 22 people. So I want to do a pilot, and we started doing it, and man, it was so surreal because everything was new. I had new cameras, new crew. My sister came along, she's the director of the show too. My wife came on, she was like, yo, let's go, baby, let's knock it out, because she was seeing what's going on. She was upset too, but she's like, well, we have to do everything from scratch. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I listened to my manager because I trusted her, but I was still stubborn because of all the hard work that we put in that was gonna go on the waste. But in hindsight, God knew what he was doing because I did everything from a pure heart. And the actors came back. And now I'll say this too. This is all God because the actors I wanted to come back, they came back. Because some of these actors, they're really busy. They've been on TV, they're in commercials, they're moving on with their lives. And Tara, it almost brought tears to my eyes when the actors that wanted to come back, they came back because like, no, Chauncey, we got you. They knew what happens, and no, we got you, bro. So they stepped their game up so much on this show where it was so surreal. I was so proud of all of them. And thankfully, before COVID hit, we shot for about 3 months. It was like every other weekend, just boom, 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 production, making sure everything is done. And then when quarantine happened in March, I edited everything in March so that, okay, I was ahead of the game. So when we dropped the season, and this is how the enemy tries to attack you when you do something right.
Mm-hmm.
So when we dropped the trailer, I had a lot of like cyberbullying from the former friend. So a lot of bullying saying, "Oh, a lot of attacks against me." Oh yeah, like online comments and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get this and then get that." And I was frustrated, but I talked to my manager. I said, "Chauncey, don't even worry about that. You did everything by the book. You got the documentation saying it's yours. The only reason that they're mad is because it's good. That's all it
Wow.
is." So don't
Right.
let don't get upset by her being mad that you didn't attach it to it, because she knew that the greatness that you had in you. She knew that you can create something better than what you had before. So I went through the attacks, Tara. I went through the attacks, the accusations, and oh yeah.
How did you overcome?
A lot of patience and prayer, and not really focusing on too much. I had to realize that I did it right. I did everything right. Because I did anything wrong, I would feel guilty, but I didn't feel guilty at all because I did everything about the book. Why is she so mad? Why is she talking about she's talking about social media and everything? I'm like, why are you so mad at me? I'm not even talking. I don't talk to you. I don't talk to you. Why are you mad at me for?
And it was so long ago how you overcame that and let it go, made a whole new project.
And the project, let me tell you something. When I let my manager see it, she said, Chauncey, oh my God, like this is too good. And then when I started submitting to different film festivals, like I'll say this. I submitted Have a Good Day to about 10 film festivals. Out of the 10, out of everything, we got selected 8 times.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm
that's
like,
amazing.
It's like, so I know that I did everything right. It took me 9 months to get off the ground. Before I even started casting, it took 9 months because I had to make sure that I had my ducks in a row. I had my documentation. I had my script certified. I had to get it, notarized. It's so many things I had to do to make sure that I knew and protect myself, because I had a feeling that I knew that it was going to come to this point where I was going to get a lot of threats and everything like that. But I have a good manager, and she said, Chauncey, you did everything right, so don't worry about all that.
Wow.
And after, when the first episode dropped, it all stopped because she thought it was the same thing. I was like, no. You don't know who I'm dealing with. You don't know the kind of guy that I am.
The God in me.
Right, just like that song, right. So for me, I'm grateful to God because going back to what saying by you having a pure heart, I'm glad that I was able to bring on some new people and the original people in the show, and they all love it. It's like, yo, bro. When they see the nominations and the wins, they're like, yo, oh my God, they share it on social media. Because as an actor, here's the thing: as an actor, when you get involved with a project, it's like an investment for you guys to say, okay, what are we getting out of this? It's like a sales pitch. It's like, okay, what are we getting out of this? Like what's going to go from this point? Because it can't just be on the shelf. Like that's a waste of their time and their energy. So what are you getting from this? I'm coming to work with, for OCMG or Chauncey Jackson. What you're gonna get? You're gonna get high production, fun on set, but also hard work. Because I want the best out of you. I want the best out of you as an actor. Because I love what I do.
Wow, and you're not doing it for the money, so it means differently. How you're doing it to create art, and you have ownership, and you have integrity attached to you. You just move different. That's how you're gonna produce greatness like that, and that's incredible. I commend your patience as well.
So now,
I commend your patience.
That P word is like, some people don't have it, but I'm glad to like when I watch it, I watch it so many times that I'm proud of it. I'm just seeing, and especially the artists that I work with on the show that let me use their music for free. They're like, dude, I'm with it. I love the show. Let's go ahead. Wow. So I signed a contract with them, and it's just that, last month marked 10 years I've been doing this, Tara. So and I'm working on a documentary for that too. So, and just the people that have been messaging me on social media, I don't know who they are. I said, one of the actors reached out to me saying, you good at what you do. I need this, I need that. I said, okay, cool. Let's talk. Because everyone got a budget. Let's create one. Don't burn yourself out by running the camera. You know what you're doing. Right. Come talk to me, because, people who are interested in film, that's great, but you have to do things by the book, Yeah. And for me, I just have this 10 years of experience where if you give me a script, then I'll be like, oh, word? Okay, cool. I already know what it's going to be like. I already know what it's going to look like. It's okay, cool. I got you. Because I've had the experience. Wow. And majority of the time, let me tell you something. My patience, dedication is so real that probably 70% of that 10 years, I didn't have a car. I took MARTA, I took Lyft, the train.
With your setup? With your equipment?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like this is before Lyft and Uber were around. I had to walk from my mom's house to the bus stop and wait for now they ain't got no GPS on, the app the more I have to wait. I have to
Wow.
leave sometimes 2 hours to get to a gig just to make 150 for the day to come home and edit the video. So my grind is real. So now to see where I've got to as a 2-time award-winning filmmaker, it was all worth it. And I thank God for it, for real.
Oh my God. So how do you trust the process like that? Because you put in 10 years of work, hard sweat, tears. Come on,
Sweat,
tell
boy,
us how you
summertime, bro.
trust, right? How do you trust the process like this and understand what you sow in, what you put in, you will reap what you sow. But you have to plant these seeds and watch them harvest.
Like you said, plant the seeds because I couldn't do it by myself. The people that I met that really helped me become not just a better filmmaker, but also a businessman. Like, names like Vanden Gibbs, who's my mentor, Natalie, Ali Floyd, KL Allen, Jessica Smith, Corey Henry, Lawrence Prescott of Caribbean Life TV. Man, it's so many people that really, really helped me to get to this point where they trusted me with their vision, so I had to make sure that I pushed out high quality content for them. Because I don't care how much money you got, when you work with me, you still get high quality. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand when people say, well, they ain't got no money. How do you know? How do you know? You don't know what they got. You don't know who they know. You don't know that person that you may think that doesn't have the quote unquote funds. They may know somebody they can refer you to that will get you to the next level. It happened to me many times. Where it's like, I worked with millionaires before where, I need a content for this. It may have been one time, but it's like that one moment where I learned from that person. So don't judge somebody based off they ain't got no money. How do you know?
Right, because they not wearing it. That's why they think.
Like, you don't know. The richest person might be in this. Like, just because someone in a nice suit, that can be rented. Don't take the funk. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, don't. That's from Men's Warehouse. Like, don't don't do that.
Yeah. Wow. You cannot judge a book by its cover.
It's for real. Like, how you know? I've been probably one of the biggest studios in Georgia, and I met some people because I know what I was talking about. As an editor, I was an editor first, by the way. I didn't shoot, direct, or produce first. I edited first. So for me, when I go on set, I kind of have this editing mindset where I'm like, okay, like angle here. So when I go home and edit, I kind of know what it's gonna look like because of how I see things. I direct to edit, I produce to edit, I cast to edit, I of course shoot to edit. So I have an editor's mindset where everything's a timeline.
Wow, and editing is such a key component in filmmaking that we look over. That's why a lot of times, a lot of these projects, indie projects, don't come out because proper edits, or they didn't have an editor. They were only thinking about shooting and casting, the end result.
Man, the editing has saved me so much money. It's like, I don't even know, because let me tell you something. Over the last 10 years, I would say I probably saved about I'll say about 20 grand. I'll say so.
Wow.
Roughly. Because of the time and the quality behind that, the hours being spent editing. So I'm editing a project, in a few minutes because, this is go back to referral because I know what I'm talking about, because editors, as editor, life is good right now.
Yeah.
Especially through COVID, people want to get things pushed out. So I'm grateful to God because, end of the day, I told God, God, I just want to be able to give you thanks, but also trust the process in the same time because, I thank God for 10 years because some people don't make it. My brother, he's a photographer. He's been doing it for roughly around the same time, so he understands this. So for me, I told God, God, it's film or bust. I don't want to do anything outside of that because when I'm in my zone, my wife will tell you, I can edit for literally 8 hours and I even like, okay, cool, I'll take a break, but I'll come back and be like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Next couple hours because you love what you do. A lot of editors don't know that, but you have to focus on editing because end of the day, post-production is more important than pre-production sometimes. Because how are you supposed to, now, I can talk about this all day because people don't focus on what's important. Focus on the lighting, the camera quality, and make sure that the sound is just as important too because people can forgive bad video to a certain degree, but if the audio is trash, they'll be like, it's like, Man,
I love me some good audio.
and by the way, these film festivals, they won't accept your film if audio and video is trash. Just so you know. they will say in the descriptions like we will not accept videos that are low quality, poor quality. They won't do it. So it says a lot about my web series where we did everything. I mean, shot with a Blackmagic 4K and the nice lighting and the music sounds great. The acting is solid. Like, come on, like, put in that work.
Put
Like,
in that word.
I don't do this for fame. What fame is temporary? What does that mean?
I'm telling you, but that's what people are driven off of the most. They're not driven off of the craft and doing it for the love of the arts. They're doing it for the clout.
I was like, yeah, it's just like some of these content creators are really dope, but some of them are doing is like, okay, really, I'm like, okay, just like that. That's how you feel. All right, cool. But no, but for me, like, it's just the part where you have to you have to be patient and break things down. You have to have meetings. You have to talk to actors. Like, hey, let's do a pre-production meeting. I'm about to shoot a short in December. You know, because it's been a minute. Because I was okay. Let me do one, and my wife's going to direct that. So I wrote this about probably like 2 years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago. But I kept it. I have a lot of scripts, by the way. I'm a writer too. I'm a writer. I write.
Wow.
I have scripts to last me about the next 10 years, another 10 years. I'm writing.
Stop playing.
I'm so serious. I'm not even kidding. I'm so serious because I don't want to get to a point where I meet somebody or in the industry where it's like, oh, you're a writer? Okay, what do you have? What?
Yeah.
No, you gotta be prepared all the time.
Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready.
And sometimes it'll be that life-changing moment for you. So you gotta be prepared. You have to stay ready. Who sings that? I think Janae Aiko sings that. I think, yeah, that's her.
It was a bar.
Yeah.
That's what I live by. Stay ready.
Yeah.
So you gotta be ready. And you're not about your talking. You are actually about action. And that's a whole nother type of flex. You know how some people say, I want to do this. You're doing it though. You're living by it.
And I love what I do, man. Like and this is what I do, and I want other filmmakers to try this. I consolidated all the episodes for the web series, and it's about maybe an hour and a half. And what I did was I exported just the audio of it. I just listened to it. I listened to it because I want to see the project in my mind. So it's like a test for myself where it's okay, I hear it, even though I can't see it, I still see it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I exported audio, so I'm listening, and there's some things that I missed. I was like, okay, let me go back and change this. I was like, okay. So for me, you have to be dedicated to your craft in many, many ways. Not just watching it. You can watch it, but are you really hearing it? You know?
Yeah. And knowing that it's just not about you at the end of the day, and giving it all the glory to God in this process is amazing. Can you tell us the importance of integrity, especially in this entertainment industry in Hollywood, how you stand so solid on integrity and character?
When it comes to integrity, and I'm glad you asked that because I had a pastor I listened to called G. Craig Lewis, and he was talking about that. And it's like going back to you were saying too about people just doing it for clout. I'm like, you will get exposed eventually, because if you don't have integrity, and especially because you have the right spirit, then you're not gonna go far. You may go far for a minute, but you'll have that roadblock where you'll get caught up in your lie. So for me, my integrity came from my upbringing. You know, my parents told me, it's like, you're going out in this world is a cruel world, but just because someone else does it doesn't mean you have to do it too. Just because someone made it to this level doesn't mean you have to follow in their footsteps because they did people dirty. I mean, there's so many films that I know that did people dirty. I'm like, yo, like, but it's like, all right, that's you, you know.
You're not gonna go far.
You're not gonna go far. And it means a lot to me because my integrity shows on set because I take care of my actors, you know, male and female, but especially the females, because there's one female who I work with now, you know, she told me, I did a demo reel back in July, and she said, you know, Chauncey, I really appreciate, you know, we talked on the phone afterwards and everything. Yeah. And she said, Chauncey, I really appreciate the kind of guy you are. So, well, you said that? I said, well, I got out of the industry because some men don't know how to treat women on set, you know? I was like, I knew what she was talking about. I was like, yeah, because it was so many things I didn't like, and I just had to take a break. But you kind of gave me the hope to kind of get back into it because how you treated me, even though I have a all-male crew, she didn't look at it that way. You know, she's like, Chauncey, you made me feel so comfortable on set,
Wow.
and it meant a lot to me. I was like, well, of course, like what,
That
you
means a
know,
lot.
it means a lot to them, especially women, because it's like, yeah, sex scene, okay, cool. Ooh, what does it mean? Ooh, like
Right.
what
Is
is
you
it?
just doing it for porn? Because some
Like,
people really just doing it for porn now.
but I'm serious. Like, I don't. You think I care what people say? You really. I lose no sleep. I really lose no sleep. I was like, really? A word? Okay, cool. All right, whatever. Mind your business. Stay over that lane. I stay in my lane. How about that? Because my integrity means a lot, and my wife sees it. Like, she sees how I operate on set. I have fun on set. I'm making sure, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do. All right, quiet guys, let's go. Let's make it moving. Let's go to because they know who they're working with.
Mm.
And these the film industry is so small. Don't get it twisted. These actors know each other, so don't think that they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Majority of them do. So for me, my name, my what's that word? I need to get some water. My mouth is dry. I talk too much. um, my reputation. No one can say that they had a moment where when they worked with me, it was a terrible experience. They
Mm.
can never say that. Now, the project may have, things happen on set when it comes to production and, have to wait things. But outside of that, I've always treated actors with respect and dignity, period.
Wow. Reputation matters. That's what people should not say nothing bad about you when you are treating people as they should be treated with respect. And that means so much, especially to people. Like, people see the way you move and the way you carry yourself, and that's just gonna make people gravitate to you more, to just work with you, to collaborate, and just to build this empire.
Yeah, because and the thing about this though, I bring my wife along on set, so she's a minored in theater, so
Mm.
she comes on set. She was a assistant producer and assistant director on the project, so I have her involved. Like, I have her on set, so she sees and she talks to the actors. They know who they are. So I'm like, you think I'm gonna have my beautiful wife? You crazy? Now if
Right.
she's busy, she's busy. But it's like I bring her on set because she's part of my life. She's part of my
Yes.
journey.
Wow. And then that's just incredible, doing business with your partner. That's what it's for. Like, let's do
Like, she
business
keeps me in
together.
check, bro. Don't get it twisted. I love a strong black woman. She keeps me in check
Come,
because she wants the best out of me. Period.
you're gonna continue to elevate with her right by your side.
Fun, man. It's a fun journey. Like, she's like, Dave, don't. Okay, let me do that. Let me direct the scene. I was like, all right, go ahead, knock it out, knock it out. Because
Wow.
some things that now when it comes to there's some things I may not understand when it comes to, a woman would resonate more with a female director. I'm not saying nothing against that, but it's like, hey, I want to make sure it's comfortable so it'd be an easy transition. Nothing against that. Fine. So my sister directs, my wife directs, and it's like I just kind of produce and step in when I need to. So I have a good solid team, of really good, solid women in my life.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And that's just shows like the man you are destined to be, like how you have women holding you accountable and just getting you in the straight and narrow path to success like that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Chancey, before you go, give us some advice for upcoming filmmakers on ways that we can stay creative.
It's funny how you asked my question, and one of my cinematographer who shot the web series, he asked me the same thing because he's kind of getting frustrated. I told him, like, bro, just step out of your lane. Like, if you get tired of editing, try doing something else. Like, try writing, try storyboarding, or like create a show bible, create a business plan. Or I did a vlog. I started a vlog early this year. I stopped in June because I got so busy. But do a vlog. I never did a vlog my whole life, but I started doing it to be a better editor, when it comes to that part. So it was cool. I just kept it visual, but also stay creative. So like, oh, I have my own podcast. I haven't done it in a minute. It's called One More Chance. So I step out of my zone to still be creative, uh, audible or visually. So for any upcoming filmmaker, you have an iPhone.
Come on.
I'm sorry to yell, but
That's for
I was
real.
like, you have an iPhone where it has 4K quality video on it, where you can upload it to your computer or whatever. I'll grow. Okay, you were 80s baby.
Oh, I'm 90s baby.
Whatever, but you know that back then we didn't have all this. We didn't have all this. Create a vlog, create a podcast, shoot a movie on your iPhone,
Wow.
do interviews. Man, this, I don't know. do a self-tape audition or something. I mean, there's so
Your
many things
name
you
is
can
so
do.
much. They better pick
Like
it
there's so
up.
many things you can do. So I'm not trying to be discouraging about it, but yo, you have technology in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. Come
There's
on,
no
resources.
excuse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for you to say, I'm bored. I don't want to hear that.
Come
You have
on.
YouTube, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Tubi, Facebook, Instagram, like TikTok. Like, come on.
It's you versus you. You standing in your
Let's
own
say
way.
this. I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I save so many editing videos so I can go back and watch and learn how to. Because right now I'm learning graphic editing on After Effects, so I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, just doing basic editing to transition, learn how to do different effects. So like, come on, people.
Yes, you gotta learn. That's what we are meant to do. We have to learn every day. Gain all this knowledge so we can just be better creators in the end and not just be so entertaining in that world, in that reality of escapism. That's where I feel like a lot of people losing their touch and creativity because they're just escaping from their reality of not creating.
Yeah, and it's like it's nothing against you subcontracting out to get a video done, but it's way better to say that you did something your own,
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with subcontracting, or there's nothing wrong with that, but is you feel like you accomplished something. Wow, I did this. Like, wow, I created something. Oh, I created a like shot videos or shot photos for somebody. Like, it's so different when you say that you are responsible for creating something out of your own mind, So I say for the creatives out there, don't be afraid of making mistakes, man. I made plenty, and the way that I got to this point was so worth it because the mistakes I made propelled me to be a 2-time award-winning filmmaker of a award-winning web series. So don't be afraid of failure. I know they say it a lot, but it's true. Like, you're gonna fail, but that failure is gonna make you or break you. Depends on if you want to take it over or not.
Yeah, wow.
Are you gonna be a failure or are you gonna be an overcomer? What you gonna do?
The choice is yours. You gonna shoot or dribble?
Captain Planet. The choice is.
The choice is.
Oh, the power is yours. Whatever. I don't know what it says. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you miss 99% of the shots you don't take. So
yeah.
And that's about when all the art that you're creating, everything that you're producing, writing, it just adds on to your legacy, and it's so powerful. And I appreciate all the art that you are doing and that you are living by example for the Black culture. It's so appreciative. I appreciate it, and I know so many other people appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you're so welcome. And like I said, I know one day we work together. I don't know when, but I appreciate you having me on your show. I'll definitely be listening and supporting, because one thing about it, as Black content creators and Black podcasters, we need that support, So definitely, when I get my podcast back up, I'll try to get interviews in, because I'm still busy. Like, Tara, let's say something. God's been so good. I'm not even kidding right now. I have to send a proposal for a client, then I have to edit a short film, then I have to reach out to another client to color grade something, and I have to shoot a video next week, and then I have the award ceremony for the Peachtree International Film Festival next weekend. And then I'm getting married next or 2 weeks from now. So a lot of things are going on that I thank God for, because for God I live, for God I die, period. So
that is powerful. Chauncey, I appreciate you taking time for us today and just sharing your story. It was so inspiring. And I know so many other independent creators are just going to be so inspired by your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Tara. God bless. Talk to you soon.
God bless you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Take the Lead podcast. We're going to see you at the top.